All right,
Alrighty.
awesome. All right, you ready now? Start recording.
Red linoleum, yellow linoleum, red leather Eddie Vedder. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. Hey everybody, hi, my name is Colton Marvellius, or as the internet calls me, Ill-Fitting Trousers.
And I'm the big beluga, Brennan Howard himself, over here.
And this is the Weekly Rundown, the only podcast that knows what you did.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, we know.
I better leave.
Me too, I'm scared. This podcast has become too powerful.
Well, I'm excited for this podcast. I did a lot of work on my list here. You came to me with your favorite villages in video games, and I gotta say, I really got into this topic. My first favorite village would be Minecraft villages.
No.
Riverwood. Not to mention...
Brennan?
What?
I think you missed a couple letters in that message.
No, you said villages.
No, I said villains.
Villains?
Villains?
You're a villain.
You're a villain.
Alright, well, I'll just delete that. All that work down the drain. Great. Oh, here I go. I'll just type out some freaking villains, if that's what you're talking about. Oh, there you go. I got 5.
You deleted the villages, though?
Oh, yeah, it's gone.
Cool. That's what we'll talk about next week, then. But yeah, so we decided to talk about villains this week.
Villains.
Villains.
We all have them. Who needs them?
Exactly. Sometimes the villains are in your head.
Zombie.
But yeah, so like, Brennan, I know you got some villains you want to talk about.
Yeah, I'm thinking...
Oh, wait. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just want to give a spoiler alert. I think they'll mostly be minor spoilers, but some may be bigger for RuneScape, Portal 2, the Zelda series, Halo, Persona 5, and Final Fantasy 7.
Wow.
So yeah.
If you haven't played any of these games, pause it right now. We'll wait.
Go play all of them.
Go play them all. Start with RuneScape, get those spoilers out of the way.
Yeah, RuneScape spoilers out of here.
We'll go back to like 2005, play some RuneScape. Yeah, so freaking RuneScape, the greatest villain in there is my RuneScape girlfriend, Minecraft Smasher Lily 360. If you're out there, Lily, I hate you. You took all my money and you didn't even hang out. And then you hacked my account. You took my party hats and my mithril swords. It's unforgivable. So, have you ever played RuneScape, Colton?
I played a little bit when I was in like 6th grade. And obviously, living in a house with like no internet, it was very hard.
Oh yeah. Well, did you fall for any of those traps?
Any of the RuneScape girlfriends?
Yeah.
No, yeah. Mine were all older dudes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, terrible.
Well, I think she was real, but they'll ruin your life, dude. So stay away from that. What do you got for me?
Well, I know one that's on both our lists is Portal 2, but we picked different villains in Portal 2.
Oh.
I picked Mr. Wheatley himself. I almost picked GLaDOS.
I picked GLaDOS.
Yeah, but I went with Wheatley because Wheatley's interesting. He kind of starts out as your friend, like right in the beginning of the game. He asks you to speak by pressing the X button or A button, depending on what you're playing on, or spacebar, depending on what you're playing on, and you'll just jump. And He's like, okay, well.
He's like your dad.
Yeah.
You know? He raised you.
Yeah, and I think that was, first of all, that was kind of evil of the developers, because I know a lot of people wanted to hear Shell's voice, actually.
It's hilarious.
So they giving him a prompt for her to talk, and then her just jumping is pure evil. But I just like that Wheatley's kind of the guide for this like world at first. He gets a taste of power when you plug him into like GLaDOS's computer stuff.
Right, but yeah, was he evil the whole time, or did he just like get corrupted by a virus?
I don't think he was, and I don't think he got corrupted either. I think he instantly got a taste of power and it went to his head.
It went to his eye.
It went to his eye. Right to his eye. Because, I mean, he literally is like letting you go, and then he's like thinking about it. He's like, no! No, like, all this power, no subjects to test on, like...
But of course he's a funny trollmeister, so, you know, he could just be trolling you.
Yeah, and honestly, though, how you defeat him is another reason I put him on this list.
That was cool.
It's so awesome. It was really awesome. You shoot a portal at the moon and, like, just launch him into space. And I remember that being, like, the funniest thing for, like, everyone. And then, also, I think one of the Game Awards, like, the year after that game came out, Wheatley was a host for, like, the show.
They had, like, a CG Wheatley, or was it
No,
just
they had
actor?
it was, like, it wasn't the voice actor. It was, like, him just floating in space talking about, like, the Game Awards.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Yo, who does that voice? I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah,
who plays Wheatley?
Whoever plays Wheatley is
very
really
funny.
good. Yeah, he's really good.
Stephen Merchant. Yeah, I never heard of him.
But that's all I got about Wheatley. I know you got some stuff about GLaDOS.
Oh, yeah, I know him.
Oh,
what's that guy? What's that guy from? He was in.
It probably says in your Google search.
He's like in a show with like Ricky Gervais or something. Oh yeah, he's like Ricky's like agent, and he's like an actor. He's like an extras actor. It was a good show. I don't know. He's like a famous like BBC looking dude. He shows up. If you look him up, you'll recognize him. He's funny, man.
Look him up right now.
He might do stand up, you know. I feel like a lot of Wheatley lines were kind of like because it's so funny. It's probably a lot of him going into that character, you know.
I do recognize this guy.
Yeah, he's in stuff, man. He's in
a bunch of stuff. He's in stuff, all right.
Well, yeah. So GLaDOS, she's pretty cool, right?
GLaDOS is pretty cool, I guess.
I mean, she's a meanie.
No Wheatley, but you know, GLaDOS.
I really liked her in that game because, like, obviously she's your villain, she's your driving factor, and she just throws like just demeaning verbal abuse at you the whole time, and it just really makes you want to like prove her wrong and say, "No, I am smart. I can solve your dumb puzzle." She's just so mean, and she sounds so depressed. The voice acting is great. And then, of course, eventually you put her on a potato, and she's your buddy.
I was about to say, I remember the potato a lot.
When they switch from Wheatley to GLaDOS, and then she's your little buddy, and that's great, you know. Because otherwise the game would be pretty quiet without these characters. Yeah,
I mean, without J.K. Simmons and other characters, they really fill that world.
Lemon.
Yeah. I also liked her like kind of apologies to Shell like throughout that game though too. Cause like she wasn't the main villain, but she definitely was like a villain throughout the whole series. In like she wasn't the main one in the second game.
She was in Portal 1. I never played Portal 1.
Oh yeah, she's the main villain in Portal 1.
Yeah. All right.
But I liked like kind of when she's in her like potato form, she's like, sorry I tried to kill you with like deadly neurotoxin, and like because that's what she tries to kill you with in the first game. So like you have to defeat her before the room fills with like this poisonous gas. Basically, is the boss level.
Oh, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. Continue,
okay,
please.
No worries. So I just thought it was a really interesting way to like round her character out, and you also, it's weird to work with your villain, and I think that was a neat way to do it. Like you're actually working towards the same goal as your villain.
I mean, at the end of the day, she's just an AI, you know.
Yeah,
it's not her fault. And you kind of sympathize with her a little bit, you know?
Yeah. She's right.
She's so pathetic.
Yeah.
She is thick, though.
She is thick, yeah.
She's got that going for her. And she sings a song at the end of the game, which is a fun little thing.
Da-na-na-na-na-na. I don't want to sing it all. I'll get copyright strike. I'm too good.
Yeah, because you're that good.
Yeah. But, I do remember that song. Because my experience with Portal 2 was I literally played that game all the way through in one day.
Yeah, you can do that. It's pretty short, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but I also didn't have a thing to play it on. So I went to my friend Johnny's house, and we just, like, played. He let me play through Portal all one day, and that's really cool to just let your friend come over and use his system all day. Just because you want him to play a game, you know?
Well, that's how you make friends.
Yeah, that's true.
Say,
you share your cool stuff.
I have the new Nintendo. You want to come play Halo?
Yeah. Oh.
Don't worry about it. What's your next villain, Colton?
My next villain? My next villain is Mr. Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII.
Mr. Stinky Bob Dumpster Trousers himself. No?
No.
Is that not what he's known as? Oh.
I don't think so.
Okay.
The one-winged angel. But you were close.
That sounds like a euphemism.
Oh, yeah, it is.
The one-winged angel. I don't know.
But, Sephiroth, I kind of talked about Sephiroth in my audio that got cut off for, like, the music.
Wait, isn't Sephiroth the guy from the Yogscast?
No.
Oh, that's Zephos.
Okay. But like I picked him because he's just pure evil. He really is. He's like basically out to like destroy the planet. Oh my gosh. Out to destroy the planet.
Not the planet. That's where people live.
Yeah, I know, right?
All my favorite things are on the planet.
Yeah. And no, he also has like theme music, is why I've talked about him in the last episode. That's just, it honestly is like to put you off guard, and it's so well written. It's like really eerie to listen to, and you know like he's there when you hear it. He's an expert sword fighter.
He got big old sword.
He's got the longest sword in anything I can think of right now.
Is it longer than Cloud?
It is.
Wow.
It is, yeah. He won up Cloud there.
Or Guts.
Oh, and he kills Aerith. Which is like straight up kills one of your party members in Final Fantasy VII. And everything you had like equipped to her and everything, she was like your healer too. You lose. And you lose, like, all those levels, and
you can't just go up and, like, loot her corpse?
No.
You can't just be like, oh, shit, don't let it go to waste.
You let her sink. Fine. You let her sink to the bottom of, like, the water.
Well, that's wasteful.
Yeah. But it sucks, though, because she really was your healer, and then you're kind of, like, screwed, especially if you were leveling her up a lot, just to lose her.
Was she good waifu material?
She was. She's some people's number one waifu.
Yeah, makes it even worse than.
Yeah. Some people like Aerith. Some people like Tifa. People with class like me, they pick Jessie. But
yeah, I've seen the memes of that, so it apparent. I can tell that it was like a really big fucking moment.
Mm-hmm. So, but it
breaks my heart, dude.
Yeah,
she was my favorite character. I didn't know.
You should play some of the Final Fantasies.
So he's from Final Fantasy. He's not from Kingdom Hearts.
He is a secret boss in Kingdom Hearts. That's really all he is in Kingdom Hearts.
Is he canon?
Technically, yeah. They kind of did a story with him.
So is he technically a Disney princess?
I think so. I would say.
Sweet.
I mean, if anyone's deserving of it, especially after like all these Disney buyouts, it would be Sephiroth.
Dear Sephiroth.
Dear Sephiroth, you're my favorite Disney princess. Why are you never at Disneyland?
That'd be so weird to just see Kingdom Hearts characters at Disneyland. Yeah, like, yeah, no, don't touch me. Well, shoot. I got Ganondorf. Because I like Ganondorf. Oh, you got more to say about Sephiroth?
No, you said Kingdom Hearts characters at Disneyland would be weird. They do that.
Yeah?
They do that with, they have, alternate costumes for, Goofy and Donald in their Kingdom Hearts uniform. I just thought that was, I wanted to add that. Yeah, I'm sorry.
But they don't have, like, the anime characters, the Kingdom Hearts style characters, huh?
I'm not entirely sure. They might just have a dude that's dressed up, like a normal dude. Like, you know, like what they do with the Disney princesses. But that's all I can think of. Anyway.
Just a normal dude.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So, next up we got good old Ganondorf. The red-headed green man himself.
Who's Ganondorf?
Lord of the Zelda.
I'm pretty sure his name's Ganon.
No, Ganon is his spiritual form. And Ganondorf is the Gerudo with the orange hair.
Okay, and then Zelda is the one in green?
Yeah.
Awesome.
No, that's Master Chief.
Oh.
Yeah, in Legend of Zelda, he plays the
chief.
The iconic chief in his quest to save the princess Sephiroth.
Perfect.
But yeah, no, so it's like you played Skyward Sword, right?
No, I haven't.
Oh.
I bought it and my Switch is kind of bunky, so I haven't played it yet.
Bunky. Well, you'll learn the origins of Ganon. It's like kind of an evil god, because like Skyward is like at the beginning of the Zelda timeline, so it involves like the gods like Hylia and whatever, and there's Demise, and then at the end of the game he puts like a curse down, so like his just spirit of evil or whatever, which is Ganon, this big pig monster spirit that is just malicious and mindless and evil. So to always be around every reincarnation of Link and Zelda. So yeah, Ganon is like he turns into Ganon in most of the games, which is the big pig monster like Ocarina. That's like the final boss, and then of course there's no Ganondorf in Breath of the Wild. You just fight Calamity Ganon, which is like what is it? Malice in that game, the goop. Corrupted spirit of Ganon, even more corrupted. Like I don't know how that works, but and then Ganondorf is the mortal. Yeah.
Oh, he's like the one you fight in Wind Waker, right? Like where he's
Yeah, he's a dude.
He's just a dude, but like a big old dude.
Well, I say just a dude, but he's a male Gerudo, which is like super rare.
Oh.
I think they just like pop out of holes or something then. I don't know. But yeah. He's pretty cool. He's my favorite guy in Smash. And he's like a wizard. And he's big and green. And he wears like Lucha Libre clothes. And you know, I like him. I think he's cool.
Yeah. He does sound pretty cool.
And there's like different versions of him too, because like you have Ocarina, where he's like young, and he's just like I'm gonna conquer everything.
Oh, that's a good impression.
And then you have like you have Twilight Princess, where he's like a bit older and he's like defeated. And he's more calculating. He's like a cool, like, Darth Vader dude. And then you have Wind Waker Ganondorf, where he's like an old dude and he's just like really wise. Obviously, he's the bad guy, but he's not necessarily super malicious, I guess. He's a very collected and almost like one of those. He's like Thanos, I guess. In that, you know, Thanos isn't like just a big barbarian. He's a big thinker boy, and he thinks he's right, you know.
Yeah.
And he's not like I'm evil.
He's like,
look at me.
I have a gauntlet that can wipe out half the universe for the supplies we need, but I won't create the supplies with it.
Yeah. You just have to make all the life forms half as big.
Yeah.
It'd be the same thing.
What do you think the most evil thing Ganon has done?
Oh, probably, like, frown at the camera.
Oh.
Yeah.
I hate it when
scary.
people frown at the cameras.
Well, I don't know, like, he kidnaps children in, Wind Waker, and I think he's, like, wants to kill him or something. Because he wants to like kill Zelda while she's young, because everybody's always reincarnating. Yeah. So if there's no Zelda, then I guess he can complete his goal of getting the Triforce and
I feel like that's fair.
Conquering the world or whatever.
It's okay to kill kids if you benefit from it.
And then,
you know,
in Twilight Princess, he enslaves the Twilight Realm, which is pretty nasty. I mean, like, nobody likes slavery.
Yeah.
And then in Ocarina, he pretty much destroys Hyrule. You know, like, I mean, there's definitely eviler characters in anything, but...
Oh, yeah, no, I was just wondering what, like, you thought, like, the most evil thing.
He's pretty much your typical bad guy, I guess. You know?
Yeah. That makes... Yeah, I get that. It's kind of like when you're reading comic books and stuff, and the villains always have a different evil plan each time. You know?
Yeah. Twirly mustache.
Yeah.
I'll get you next time, Master Chief. Sephiroth will be mine. Just you wait. Can we make this?
Yeah,
Legend of Zordo with Master Chief and Sephiroth?
Yeah, coming soon to a theater near you. Chris Pratt will play Master Chief.
Obviously. And freaking
Jack Black will be Ganon.
Of course, but Seth Rogen will play the beautiful Princess Sephiroth.
Oh, yeah. I love the idea of him being Donkey Kong still. I really do. Just all the videos of him laughing over, they just post Donkey Kong. Oh, it's great.
This is gonna be a fun movie, dude.
That's gonna be one of my new Twitch alerts now.
It's gonna be trash, but it's gonna be fun.
Yeah. So my next villain is from you know what? Sorry, I want to go back to that. I don't think the movie will be trash. I think I'm going to be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, it's Illumination.
Yeah, I love Despicable Me, to be honest. Like the first one, I loved it. I think they know how to do animation.
It.
I think they just did too many Despicable Me
They're
movies
just
with
very
the spin-offs.
Hollywood cash grabby is all, which is fine, I guess. But
I mean, that's what a Mario movie was
what do you
be
want?
Anyway.
What do you want from a Mario movie? Some like
you want
exploration of
what
society.
I want from Mario movies is
smoke the big weed.
Donkey Kong.
He's eating mushrooms. Get
it? Yeah. My next villain is from Persona 5, which is a series I've talked about multiple times already. I need new material.
5 times, to be exact.
We've only done 4 podcasts, and I wasn't in one of them.
That's your Halo, remember?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I would say Kingdom Hearts is more my Halo.
I'm pretty sure I talk about Halo in every podcast. Not this one, though.
You wrote Halo down
nope.
on your list. And you talked about Master Chief a second ago.
Well, it doesn't count. Okay. It's not going to be a subject. All right, okay.
So anyway, the villain is the first villain in the game, and his name is Kamoshida. Kamoshida is the worst fucking person in the entire fucking world. I hate him with like every fiber of my being. And I think that's what makes a really good villain. Especially when you're like getting ready to go and fight him. This guy, he is a teacher at Sujin Academy, which is the school your character goes to. And he is the coach of the volleyball team there. And it's like a prized volleyball team. Like, I know a lot of schools have, like, we had football as, like, our prize thing, you know, whatever. But, like, volleyball was, like, their prize thing, and their coach, Kamoshida, is an Olympic medalist in, like, men's volleyball. So he thinks of the school as, like, his own personal castle. He gets away with whatever he wants. The school constantly looks the other way. When he abuses students physically. He sexually harasses a couple of the female students, but like one in particular a lot. He drove a girl to suicide in the game.
Oh wow.
To attempt suicide. She didn't actually die, which is great.
I don't think I like you playing these kind of games, Colt. They're not good for your head.
But it's interesting because like the whole idea was like you can go into like his cognition, his mind, and like steal this how he views things and make him confess his crimes. But the idea behind it was like if you mess up, you can kill them by accident.
So you kind of want to mess up.
Well, no, you don't actually get the choice to mess up or not. I was just saying, like, it was just a possibility. Because that ties in later into the game. But, at first you're like, well, because he was just, like, hitting students, we're like, well, we don't want to, like, kill him either. Like, that's, you know, terrible. But when he drove that girl to commit suicide, you're like, fuck this guy. And then everyone's like, we're gonna get him. And it's great. So you go into his cognition and you get to beat up like his shadow form. I don't like what he looks like as a shadow. He's like, he wears like a pink Speedo.
Okay.
And
that's what I'm looking at here.
Yeah. And he's freaking weird. And
oh no, he kind of looks like Dan Avidan. Right?
Yeah. No, but yeah.
I mean, a big cape, his Speedo, and the curly hair.
Oh, he is.
Sorry, Dan. We
sorry,
love you.
Dan. I know you're one of our like 8 listeners.
Yeah, obviously.
Damn, he does look like Dan Avidan. Holy shit.
It's the cape, really.
It really is. Yeah, it looks like a Danny Sexbang.
Yeah,
from
different dude, I guess.
So, yeah, same dude, different dude.
Same dude, different dude.
But yeah, it's just it's so satisfying to beat the shit out of that guy, though. Not Dan, but Kamoshida.
No, we love Dan.
We love Dan Abbott. Yeah. But it's like so satisfying to beat the shit out of him. And he's also like the tutorial level. So it like really sets the tone for the rest of the game too. Because the tutorial's also done really well in that game. Like, you just kind of play the game, and when new things pop up, they're like, this is how you do it. And then it's like, okay. And it's like throughout the first, like, I would say the tutorial's like throughout the first, like, 8 hours of the game.
Oh, wow.
And, but it's like, it's done so well, it doesn't really feel like a tutorial.
Okay. You would love Skyward Sword, then. It's like the longest tutorial ever. And it feels like a tutorial, which is, like, awesome, so, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, if you accidentally kill one of the bosses in this game, like, is that game over, or does it
So you don't actually get to kill any of the bosses.
Oh,
it was just like the reason they were kind of against going into the cognition and doing this was like, there's a chance you can do this.
But there's not actually a chance gameplay wise.
Yeah, you don't get to make that choice.
Okay, that's cool.
But like down the line, shit happens.
That'd be a lot of work to.
Yeah.
You know?
And like, oh my gosh, it gets well, I mean, these games are like pretty big. Like they have it.
Yeah.
And because you have it's a calendar based game.
Calendar based. I love calendars.
Yeah. I'm the calendar man, and I love calendars. But so basically, you have like, let's say you get like 25 in-game days to beat the boss. So you can like study for your test coming up because you're a student in school also. You can like you can go eat a hamburger. You know, like you get like, yeah, you get, well, I mean, like everything you do does something, you know. Okay. You can read a book and like up your knowledge or like up your charm or something. There's a book you can read to help you read books faster. Which I think is funny, but so like everything you can hang out with your friends. Hanging out with your friends like gets you perks in battle when you go into the cognition though too. So it's like everything in that game is important to how it's like almost like a yin yang symbol where it's like half the world is like basic everyday human stuff.
And it's like saying like that is how you upgrade your persona in the dream world or whatever.
Yeah, well, yeah, the cognition.
So it's like a mirror realm kind of.
Yeah, so it's just it basically is a mirror realm. And it's very interesting to like show off, you know, just how like everything just goes hand in hand. Like everything you do is important and it feels important. Whether it's hanging out with your friends or beating up the school bully. You know, like
right.
In his brain or whatever. Right. It's, you know, it's important. And then, you know, like it gets bigger from there too. Like the next person you help out is a boy named Yosuke who has to live with like this artist who's teaching him. But the artist steals his work and everyone else's work of his students and claims it's his own work.
Jinkies. They got like every freaking villain in this game, don't they?
They do. They got a Yakuza mob boss. They got the like prime minister in there. Like it goes all the way up to that, and then it goes to like a god. Like it just builds its way up like crazy. So it's incredible.
So
like
do you think like if you were in high school and there was someone in your life that was like one of the villains in Persona, do you think playing the game would like help you deal with that?
See, I've thought of that before too.
Do they do it in a healthy way, or is it like just fantasy?
They do it in a healthy way too. I mean, like, I also like that Persona 5 Royal kind of added a change that I think was, like, it felt very necessary too.
Mm-hmm.
They added, like, after, like, the suicide and the teacher coming out and confessing because you make them confess, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The school's like, we're gonna bring in a guidance, or not, like, a psychiatrist for you guys to talk to. And in, like, the base game, they didn't do that. And I think it was really interesting because you get to see, like... Because it's one of those things. In real life, bad stuff does happen, you know, all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like seeing people talk about it and, like, how, like, these characters talk about it and how it affected them. Because you see it throughout, like, the game is, like, a pretty healthy way to see, like, you know, like, it's okay to talk about these things, because I feel like that's also a big problem in, like, people don't want to talk about these things, and not to say, you know, like, all these characters talked about it when they were ready to talk about it, but, like, no, they weren't forced to really talk about it, you know,
right.
Like, because at first the school was going to, like, force them to talk to them, and then the psychiatrist is all like, well, like, I can't make you talk to me, but, like, if you guys just want to come in and, like, hang out because you have to be here, like, that's, you know, I'm not going to make you talk or anything, you know, but I'm here if you want to. Because, you know, and I just, it was interesting. I mean, yeah, a lot of it's fantasy. I'm not saying, like, they do, you know, because you can't go into someone's brain and make them confess what they're doing. But it really just, it makes those, like, the people who are bad, kind of, like, how you see life. It cartoonifies, like, their villainy.
Right.
You know?
Right,
like,
yeah.
Like, in the real world, they're these bad guys that, like, are, like, in everyday life. But when you go into their cognition, they're, like, cartoony evil.
Right.
You know,
twirling
like,
mustache.
Twirling mustache, yeah.
Right.
And I
that's
think
that's what's so cool about fantasy is, like, we really take a lot from it.
Exactly.
Like, obviously, I know freaking... I was gonna say Lex Luthor isn't real, but Jeff Bezos. But, like, a supervillain wouldn't be real, but like, to imagine that this fantasy world could be real and how you would deal with that kind of helps you see the real world in a different way a lot of times. Yeah. I don't know, just how fantasy is important to the real world.
Yeah, and I think that...
Yeah.
And again, like, I think the game does a really good job removing the fantasy elements when they need to be removed, you know?
Right.
Because there are some, like, really heartfelt moments, like... I'm gonna go a little more into... There's, like, one palace where there's no villain involved. Well, there is, but it's kind of in a different matter. There was this character, her name's Futaba. And she's convinced, or she's been convinced that she drove her mom to commit suicide as a kid. And she kind of became a shut-in, and, like, adults were telling her, like, it's all her fault. And, it, you know, terrible. But, you know, like, in the game, it's, it turned out, like, all these adults kind of changed how she actually really viewed it, and you end up finding out that, like, one of the big bads of the whole game, drove, or actually had her mom killed off, and then all these people were saying it was, she did this because, her daughter. And it was like, holy shit. But
that's heavy.
It's heavy. Yeah, it gets heavy. at like points, and it does a really good job dealing with those heavy moments. So
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, it's a PlayStation exclusive.
Okay, well I'll watch you stream it.
But I've already played it. But you can play Persona 4, which is also very, very good. It's on a PC.
Okay. Well, have you spoken your piece?
Other than my other one, which I think we both have. We were talking about it.
Yeah, I would say, on a completely different note, Halo.
Yeah.
The Covenant. They're villain, right? I like them. They go, wort, and, woo da bug. If you know, you know. But I wanted to talk about them because I've already talked about them, and I like Halo quite a lot for some reason.
Yeah, that one you weren't going to talk about.
Shush.
Got him.
Yeah, mainly for, like, not so much story-based. Like, they're basically just, like, religious zealots from space. But what I really like about them is, like, how they are as actual game enemies, because they have such a good AI, basically. You know, I've talked about it, like how every encounter is going to be different because they act adaptively to the situation. And I've talked about that, right?
Yeah, well, I remember us talking about how you said, like, I think it was in, like, Halo 2, that the enemies will one-shot you with snipers across the map.
Well, yeah, that's a bad example. But yeah, it's like every other shooter is just going to be like a shooting gallery on rails, you know? It's like, oh, here's a guy, point and click at him. But in Halo, since it's so open and they have these great villains who utilize their AI to like hide behind rocks and stuff and kind of outsmart you, and sometimes they'll like choose to overpower you with force. But like it's cool because like it's not like it's like when you play D&D, you want your dungeon master to play with you rather than against you, you know? So you don't want him to try and kill you. You want him to like make it challenging and fun. So the Halo enemies their AI kind of reacts to how you want to play, because being a sandbox, you can enter any combat situation however you want, and the AI adapts and reacts to that to make it the most fun. So like I think on lower difficulties, like they'll knock your shield out, they won't charge you and finish you off. You're allowed to get behind cover and let your shield recharge if that's how you want to play. And then like if you want to play guns a-blazing like Doom, they'll go full force against you as well. And well, even the little grunts sometimes will run away and make you feel all scary, which is cool. But however they coded that, I just think is super cool, because there's no one way to play it, and the enemies reflect that. And I've spoken my piece on Halo today.
Oh. Well, I mean, I kind of like that. I like the adaptive AI is something I've been hearing about a lot lately. Like, a lot of games want to start doing adaptive AI instead of difficulties.
Yeah. Because, like, sometimes difficulty is just, like, enemies have, like, just a bigger health pool.
Yeah.
And they do more damage, you know? And honestly, that's boring. That's kind of, like, bullshit difficulty.
Yeah. And I think that is cool. I do have one more. And I know you got it. Well, we were kind of on the same page when we wrote them.
Whatever do you mean, Crolton?
Oh, you know, one of the biggest villains in all of video games is your friends. I guess we should just say on competitive games. We both went the Mario route, though.
Well, let's be honest. Yeah, Mario Kart. You said Mario Party.
Mario Party.
Super Smash Bros.
Yeah.
Good lord.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
I remember playing with you
sweat
in college. When we were playing, I have never hated you more. But, you know, we'd turn it off and we'd be okay. But
yeah.
during the game, like, oh, jeez.
I got pretty good with Cloud.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah, I remember.
I remember. But yeah, Mario. I put Mario Party, and then the points I was gonna say for Mario Party is my friends. They're assholes, every one of them, all of them. All right. My other points were, who do you think you are? How dare you? And bitch. That's all I got for those points.
Well, that's fair. Nintendo has a way of making their multiplayer games so infuriating because they try to make it so like, oh, anyone can win. If you're in last place, oh, you can get a blue shell. That's fun. If you suck, we'll make it so the game sucks and you can be good.
Yeah.
It's infuriating. But, you know, it's all part of it. It's still fun.
But, see, yeah. I kind of... here's the reason I like the blue shell. Because if you are sucking, it doesn't... And your friends are, like, doing really good. It doesn't keep you out of the loop from messing with them.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
And also, it ups the difficulty for the person in first. So if you're in first and you're super far ahead or whatever, if you get blue shelled, you can't avoid it. You
can. There's a couple ways.
Well, you shouldn't be able to. The only way you should be able to avoid it is by slipping back into second. You know?
There's an item you can get. It's kind of rare to get in first place, though.
Yeah.
But it's a horn, and like it knocks items away from you.
The best item ever. Jeez.
Yeah, but you normally can only get it in fourth place, so to get it, you really have to like
save it,
hold it until you get to first. Yeah,
and even then you only get one. Yeah, so that's cool. Yeah, but I feel like the whole idea of the blue shell is to keep first place close to the rest of the racers, you know, and it really gives everybody a chance. So there's no like. Yeah, it's not like a bullshit difficulty where, oh, man, you're way ahead. There's nothing I can do now. I'll just explore the map.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you finish the race, and they got to wait for the losers to finish reversing through the whole map.
That's true. So I liked, it was, I think, Mario Kart Double Dash. You didn't have to wait for everyone to finish after, like, I think it was like after like so many people finish, they're all like, yeah, it's done. You know, like if the first like 5 people finish, it's like, well, you're not getting higher than the place you're in now, really. You know.
It's over, Anakin.
Yeah, it's over, Anakin. You got 5th, 6th place.
I have the blue shell.
Don't try it. You know, Obi-Wan's like holding that horn thing.
Okay.
Man, and Star Wars is another thing that just keeps popping up on this podcast all the time.
Well, because Star Wars is good. We like Star Wars.
Yeah, that's true.
But, you know, good. Honestly, the Anakin Obi-Wan fight is like the perfect representation of playing Mario Kart with your friends.
Don't try it.
I hate you!
You are my brother.
Liar!
Man. Yeah, Star Wars is a good representation for a lot of things, though, too.
True. Yeah, that's kind of the whole point, right?
Yeah.
We could get into it later.
Yeah.
Honestly, we should just do a break and do a Star Wars episode. But of course, no, there is a Star Wars podcast.
Right? Yeah, my friends do a Star Wars podcast.
Yeah, freaking plug them.
Yeah, well, I was... well, I'll talk to you about it later, actually.
Oh,
okay. So,
well, I mean, if you wanted to plug them here...
Oh, yeah, guys, check out Inferno Pod. I know they haven't had an episode in quite a while right now. But I'll put the link down below in the description. Very fun podcast. I was on an episode a while ago. We were talking about the Star Wars book Master and Apprentice, and it's about Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan and like all the events before the Phantom Menace, and like kind of like when he first became Qui-Gon Jinn's Padawan. Very good book, and I always suggest the audiobooks. There's amazing production value in those audiobooks. Brendan, do you have any last things to say?
I'd like to thank our sponsor, JoeBidenUnderwear.com. He just released this new company where you can buy the most amazing underwear that you can get. I'm wearing my Joe Biden Dundaroos right now, and I gotta say, they're really good. And I want to thank JoeBidenUnderwear.com for sponsoring this episode of the Weekly Rundown. Thanks, Joe.